I don't know what my YouTube does some days, saying that it wants me to add somebody to go live with me. I don't want to add nobody to go live with me. Peace to the nigga nation. I really just had a question. It's something that I've been thinking about, and it's really probably been for a couple of weeks. Really since Charleston White's last Danza Project interview. I don't know whether you all have seen his last Danza Project. Well, really, if you've seen any of his Project interviews, they're highly recommended. They're very thorough interviews, and if you like to catch Mr. Charleston outside of the character, generally the Danza Project and platforms like that are generally places where you might find him in out of character and more conversation. Now, this question that I had, and I really was kind of ear hustling because I'm listening to the program, and when I listen, a lot of people get in. A lot of people are more visual, and I mean it comes down to, I guess, the saying that hoes want to see it, hoes want to hear it. No, niggas want to see it. Not necessarily I'm saying I'm a hoe, but I heard this is what I'm hearing. Like when he was on the Danza Project, well, when he's about to go to the Danza Project, Danza and them, they was trying to get Umar on it, Dr. Umar. Uh, and Charleston had been planning to be on there. I think it was somebody else like Rolo Tomasi too. It was two people that supposedly turned him down. Now Rolo Tomasi, that's one of them guru red pill. I don't know if you know about the red pill that these Kevin Samuel West dating type of guys per se. But I really, generally you see, and I'm pretty sure that for bookings, the Danza Project pays relatively well. And considering somebody like Dr. Umar, uh, you know, donations. Dr. Umar, he be looking, he buy this paper, and I guess in the name of charity, in the name of nation building, in the name of Pan Africanism, he's about his paper, and that's fair. So in my mind, I say, well, you have an opportunity to go on a growing platform. From my understanding, the Dancer Project is about to sign a big deal and thereby making them even bigger than what they already are. They're relatively new, but they're growing relatively fast. They have very popular stars on it. So for them to extend an invitation to Umar, and also, I don't know whether they ran past Omar the fact that you might have the opportunity to sit down with Charleston White. But I'm going by the theory, the idea, the presumption, not necessarily the assumption, but the presumption that they did let him know that Charleston White might be there. So I'm like wondering, well, someone who is, or anyone who I wouldn't say dependent, relies upon the internet world, the social media world, the blogosphere, the podcast zone, in order to maintain your relevancy and also earn your income to some point and get your bookings and engagements. It seemed like that would be for you to sit down, you being Omar, being a very popular person on the internet, for him to have opportunity to sit down with one of most likely in the top 10 as an individual in the blackosphere, the nigger sphere, uh, social media presence as Charleston White, 1.5 billion on TikTok, five, in some case, well, like four, these 3 or 4 YouTube channels, all of them at least reached about 40, 50,000. The last one was a quarter million. Uh, it would seem practical, you know, you would have maybe for example might expose yourself to a larger audience than what you have, or maybe the audience that you do have may be able to see a different type of light of yourself. uh, and then having meetings, I don't know whether, I guess a lot of the people get kind of caught up in the fact that they see Mr. Charleston and character online, and very few, it seems that very few, they might just keep it superficial or just on the level of what they see and the kiki and the character, the laughing, and the Confederate hats and Confederate scarves and all that shit. They might get caught up in that. Some Trump supporter, woo woo woo. Still, you are an intellectual, Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar, if you were able to, if you would do, if you decided to sit down with common sense, I mean, really a smart person would know, well, if I don't know this person per se, and this person is relatively popular, I would kind of do some background information or background search about this person. So if Dr. Umar did that search, he would realize that as far as community activists and grassroots community activists and for the people type of figures in the black community, Charleston White checks all boxes. Charleston White, matter of fact, he didn't necessarily go for the 501c and to go out and with a couple of nickels per se, uh, uh, coming online and for lack of a better term, begging for donations. He put himself in a position. Well, hell, hmm, I don't know if this, and I hate to use this term. I don't know if it was a devil's bargain per se, but when he did his community activism and his support for the community, he called upon the community in which he was in order to come together and provide for those who are lesser than in the community. Uh, Not too often will you, okay, you might find your drug dealer or hustler or whatever around holidays like this, or they might come around and give out turkeys, or rarely you might see them do some back to school shit. But that would normally be on their whim or upon their choosing. And a lot of people, I guess, if you hustling and you making your money, and if you're greedy and you're stingy, um, as a dealer or as a criminal, whatever, because you're a criminal, you know, you're a criminal. So it's like, well, if you're going to do criminal activity in the name of being this particular community and on the backs of the community, then if you see the children of the community struggling, if you see the mothers of the children in the community struggling, then you reasonably, as a member of that community, have a duty uh, to somehow provide, well, I shouldn't say provide, contribute to the well-being of that community. I mean, if you want to maintain your presence there. So as opposed to the way coming online and hit my cash app, uh, super chat me, blase woo skippy. Mr. Charles used to be on the in the neighborhood, stop six area with the shoot. I mean, the bottomless pit, as the old nigga Mr. Pops would say, the bottomless pit where opportunities may be slim and poverty and this, that, and the third. So he would be down there on the turf doing it. And not only that, we go beyond that because when you think about the grand community, the broader scale of the community, you want to be able to go about uh, making changes on a legislative basis or policy basis in order to benefit your community even better. So taking these only those two things into consideration, because Mr. Charles he worked to change federal law to end juvenile life without parole, uh, things like that, constructive change by way of policy in a way, and doing it in a means where it's not somehow selling oneself out to do it. He did it in a way in order to where he utilized the meager power that he had at the time, and just in the action of using that power, more people were drawn to him, or whether he drew himself to he found himself in a position where he was able to collaborate with people to go all the way to Congress and change a law, a federal law at that, and also do other things in his community as well. You think about, these are the things that these black activists talk about. We talk about the black on black crime. We talk about the youth and all this, that, and the third. You have a man that in all states, in all counties of Texas, he's able to submit programs in order to benefit the youth, whether it be a troubled youth or a youth that's not in trouble, just for the better constructive benefit of those kids. Now, this is a gentleman, Dr. Umar. He's been building the school. I mean, I guess he has a school and he's working. I guess the school is close to being fully functional than it was, I guess, because I know he's been working on that school for at least 20, 2011, 2012 or whatever. For you to have someone who has this background and has this information and this type of experience to have a sit down discussion with this type of person on a platform such as the Dancer Project would have been beneficial, would have been something that might have been interesting and might have been inspiring to other people within the sound of those two people, or those two gentlemen voices. I went on for a while, but my question is, I have to ask the question because I don't know for certain. Maybe Dr. Umar did not know anything about Charleston being there, and maybe just had other things to do, and he couldn't make it to the Dancer Project. But my question is specifically, if Dr. Umar knew that he had an opportunity to sit down with Charleston White, one of the controversial people on the internet, they're quick to say he's a sellout, he's a snitch, that, the third. You had the opportunity, you're supposed to be against the negative things in the community. And when a lot of times when you hear the things that you discuss, Dr. Umar, speaking directly to you, the things that you discuss coincide with the ideology of the Constitution that Mr. Charleston had. So it was kind of confusing. You wonder, did Dr. Umar duck the opportunity to sit down with Charleston White? And if he did, so why? Why do that? You want to maintain your presence online. You want to maintain your relevance to the people. Charles White doesn't necessarily have a problem maintaining his relevance with the people, at least not at this junction stage. Why wouldn't you do it, Dr. Umar? Could anybody contribute to the comments section and let me know? Why wouldn't he take the opportunity to have that type of sit down? That would have been monumental. Matter of fact, it's something coincidental. I don't know if you all seen the movie, the NLE Chopper. It's a short film, NLE Chopper, that he did starring Charleston White. It was called Nightmare on Cottonwood. Now, in that movie, there's an actress. There's an actress. Now, before the movie came out, Dr. Umar had opportunity to meet this actress, and it was kind of controversial, this actress. Now, this actress that I'm speaking of, well, I guess she was actress in that movie. Well, I don't know whether it's her profession as an actress, but she's also a social media fixture, a very popular social media fixture. Her name is Sukiana. Now, he was very excited to meet Sukiana, and played the role. I didn't really see it, but I saw one particular thing that it seemed like, I don't know. I don't know why it ends up with us. And I mean, I can't speak for all black males and all black females, where it has ended up to be something having to do with sex or explicit pornography. That's freak shit. I don't know why I had to do a freak shit, but it seemed as if he playing off the road and yeah, I miss Sukiana. You do that, but it's like Charles White was in a movie with the woman, so you can be with Sukiana. Now, Sukiana is very, very controversial. There's you have a lot of these so-called black than now people who have all types of criticisms, especially these passport brothers, red pill, black pill, whatever motherfucking Cat Samuel loving ass niggas. They have a lot to say about women like Sukiana and Sexy Red, this, that, the third. And that's not to say that those criticisms may or not be valid. So you can sit down with Sukiana, and she's controversial. Why not sit down man to man with someone who has a track record of being a community person? Even though you may see this character online, and it may be controversial, you're not him. What he eat don't make you shit. What come out of his mouth don't make your breath stop. You would have maybe Mr. Charles has the tendency to maybe raise his voice a bit. But you're grown men. I just want to know the answer to this question as I end this. I didn't mean for it to go this long. I didn't. I'm sorry if I took a little bit of time to go around the way to get to what I was trying to get to. But I just want it really kind of blew me. And I think I ear hustled Mr. Charleston and I heard him say that he was kind of disappointed Dr. Umar wouldn't sit down with him. Nevertheless, man, I just got off the plantation. I'm about to. I love myself to fix myself some breakfast. I'm still a single man, so that's what I'm about to do. Uh, Nigga nation or nothing. Peace and love. I'm still doing this motherfucking internet shit. YouTube still fucking the shit out of me, but I'm still being consistent. Y'all got to give a nigga props for consistency. You better.